Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central.
Welcome to Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas, and the Lone Star Street Rod Association's 49th annual state run. This is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, got another attendee from this weekend's big show here in the park. Plus, we're going to have a little bit later on the racing calendar and auto history.
Yes.
That's also coming up. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. And a special appearance by His Majesty David Ainsley, our In Wheel Time chief engineer and head bottle washer.
He brings the pixie dust to the show.
He does bring the pixie dust.
Yeah.
You got to have one of those guys always.
Yeah.
So thank you, David, and thanks for all the scrambling that was going on all day long. On this,
it was his nickname, Pixie.
And on my computer that blew up overnight. So we just wanted to make all the excuses that we possibly can of how screwed up today's show has become. But at any rate, Mr. Mars, I see we got another guest in the house.
Joining us now is Mr. Butch Doss, and he's got this 1950 Shoebox Ford sitting right back here behind us in a bright red.
Butch, how do you spell your last name? D-A-U-S?
Just like Hoss, only a D. D-O-S-S.
D-O-S-S?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that color is race red.
Race red.
Yeah, and that's a Ford and a Ford. It don't have no Chevrolet motor.
Wow.
God bless you. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Right.
And what year is it, 49?
It's a 50.
A
1950.
A 50. And it's a 50 what?
Well, back then they called them two-doors, T-U-D-O-R.
Yeah.
Yeah, two-door.
I don't know why, but
Shoebox.
I call it a shoebox.
Yeah,
that's how I know. I couldn't think of the name. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's got that one Dagmar in the front of it that kind of really.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's only one.
Yeah.
In fact, some of them even had a headlight right there.
Yeah,
Did
my
they really?
aunt had one like that.
Like a Tucker.
Well, I was thinking more along the lines of the Studebaker. My brother had a 49 Studebaker with that thing in the middle.
I get a lot of people that come up to me and they'll say, "Is that a Studebaker?" And I'll say, "No, ma'am, that's a Ford car right there."
Right. Yeah, and the roof line is the giveaway. Yeah. To me, on the side. If you didn't know, there's not a Studebaker that looks like that on the side.
Right.
Yeah.
And I took both vent windows out. You know,
did?
They had a front vent and a rear vent. And I took it out sort of make it look like a two-door hardtop.
Well, it looks great.
It does.
Now, did you do the restoration on that yourself?
Well, I'm a retired firefighter. I worked 33 years for the Waco Fire Department.
Jackie Hansen?
I'm afraid so. But
we don't
want to talk about him.
No, I
thought y'all wanted to talk about my car.
No, we do. I know how you guys
wonderful
with
car
hoses
it is.
are.
Well, my captain in the Waco Fire Department built hot rods. He come up one day in a 55 Crown Vic. And I told him, I said, "Man, I'd like to get me a hot rod." So that's the fourth car me and him has built. Now, I say me and him. All I did, he'd say rub here, I'd rub there. I'd take paint off. But that car, we built it, painted it, put the motor in it, drivetrain, front end. We did all the work ourselves.
Has it got the original chassis underneath it?
From the front fender back, it's got a new clip under it.
Gotcha, front clip.
Mustang II clip,
Yep.
And a Fat Man front end, they call it.
Nice, yes. That's an aftermarket supplier, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Right, yes.
yeah.
And it's got a 4-link on it.
A 4-link.
For the back.
And the motor?
The motor's a Mustang, 5.0.
A 5.0 Mustang.
302 Mustang,
Yeah.
fuel injected, power, air, whole bit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Vintage air. How was that vintage air putting it in there?
It's not too hard to put in, but I don't know. A lot of hot rodders, we have trouble with our air conditionings, but so far down on this trip, that one's been great.
So where are you from originally? Where'd you drive it in from?
Waco area.
Waco area.
Yes, sir. I live in a little town called Axtell, right outside of Waco.
An hour and a half or so?
Yeah, about an hour and a half.
So the Doss Sales, that's your company?
That was my dad's business, and I was selling pens and pencils and calendars and key rings and matchbooks and embroidery since 1965 myself. And I just recently sold the company.
And you were a firefighter.
Yes, sir. Yeah, praise the Lord for that job.
Yeah.
I got married when I was a week out of high school, still suffering with the same woman. And,
she's not here, is
been
she?
58 years. Yeah, but she's in town shopping. I'm not too worried about this here.
She might be here listening to us on the app.
Well, she might be.
We'll send her a copy.
She's used to me goofing off.
So I want to know more about the car.
Okay.
So you told me about the motor.
car.
Did you do any modifications to the engine, or is it just a stock?
It's a stock Mustang motor, fuel-injected Mustang. But there's a guy here today, and I think y'all have interviewed him before, Ben Danford.
Danford.
He's a black gentleman.
Yes.
That was his high school car.
Car?
I bought that car off of him. And the funny thing, the license plate said CAT, C-A-T, and then some numbers. I've still got the license plate at home. But my other buddy here that's driving that yellow 48 Ford over there, Ben Danford wanted a Coke box that my partner had, David Kirk. So I had to give Ben Danford $750 for the car, and then I had to give David Kirk $750
for the Coke box.
The Coke box went to Ben. So that's been a Waco car for quite a while.
Proudly so.
Yes, sir.
You notice how he refers to people? My buddy over here with the 49.
And my buddy over there,
yeah. That's
of
great.
Course. Well,
I love
that's what it's all about.
Another unique little feature on my car, of course, the headlights and the taillights are both Frenched, and the license plate lights French. But the hood, the pinstriping, if you get a close look at it, I got a guitar in there.
I'll be darned.
I'm a bluegrass gospel guitar picker and dobro player and harmonica and all that. And in fact, at night over here at the hotel, we get our guitars out and jam.
Was that you last night that we heard?
I'm afraid so. Was it bad?
It was bad.
Okay.
Yeah. It was very electric from the place next door.
He's the one.
I didn't hear it.
I kept y'all up at night.
No, you did good. We're just playing with you, but you know that.
But the car's all. It's built, not bought.
Right. But I don't mean to be picking on the motor, but what year is the motor?
I'm not real sure.
Where'd you buy it from?
I bought it from an individual in Dawson, Texas, and he just put an ad in there for a Mustang motor. I think it's about a 90s, somewhere along in there.
Okay.
302.
Gotcha.
5.0 fuel injected.
Yeah, I was just going to say, so it's an early fuel-injected car.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Not an SVT, nothing like
that.
No.
It's not a Cobra or anything special. But it runs good, sounds good. It gets me there and back. I do drive it. That's not a trailer queen. I drive it.
That's good.
Yeah.
On nice days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Well, I drove it in the rain, but.
Does the windshield wipers work?
They work, but not very good.
I was just going to say, are they still vacuum operated?
No, they're electric.
They are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think that car had vacuum operated wipers, if I'm not mistaken.
It did.
Yeah, what a pain in the butt that was.
Right.
Don't step on the gas when you got a big rainstorm going on, because you are blind. Yeah, exactly. Now, how difficult it is to find body parts for that thing? Damn near impossible?
Well, I got another buddy's got a wrecking yard. He's got 2 or 3 of them in there.
Another buddy. Got a buddy.
But
I know a guy.
That's the most. Usually, when we build one, we put the feelers out for parts. If you'll notice my airbrush chrome.
Yes.
And the Ford emblem on the side.
Yeah.
Now, if I was to have a wreck, that would be hard to redo.
Well, who painted that on there?
Another buddy.
Yeah. Well, why would it be so hard to do? I realize that
matching
it's
it.
Well, have you ever dealt with artists and pinstripers?
Yes, I have.
That's why it's difficult, right?
Yeah. So is he still around?
And upholstery people. Yes, sir. He's still around.
Yeah. Well, that's beautiful work. Because to be honest with you, I didn't look. Of course, a little farther away.
Another buddy of yours?
2 of them.
Yeah.
In fact, one on the left's one got the wrecking yard if y'all need any parts.
All right, well, that's good to know. Was that airbrush side piece on there, did that actually have that Ford emblem up in it originally?
No.
I was going to say.
That's my touch.
I like that a lot.
I'm a good designer. I can't do nothing without my buddy helping me, welding or cutting or none of that stuff. But
got a good imagination.
I get some good ideas,
Yeah, that's good. I like it a lot.
Now, that car, if you'll notice the back of it, I got a sticker on it called Red Rider, okay?
Okay.
Red Ryder in the 50s was a cowboy star,
Yes, sir.
Western.
I do know.
He had a little buddy named Little Beaver. Robert Blake paid the Little Beaver. And I've got a rat rod at home, 50 model Ford, that I call Little Beaver. So that's Red Ryder, and then I got Little Beaver in the garage. It's got a slant. It's got.
I told you there was a story about it.
It's got an inline 6 with 2 1-barrels.
Yeah. What kind of manifolds you got on?
Edelbrock and
Are you sure it's not
Offenhausen.
Offenhausen? Because I had one of
2
those.
1-barrels. It's got a beer keg for a gas tank, 37 lights, 29 grill shell, 4-foot wrench for the back bumper, and I got J.R. Cash 1 piece at a time painted on it. That's my idea.
You got it from a buddy of his.
But anyway, I may have it here next year, I hope.
So is
You
Doss
should bring it. I don't think there's another Little Beaver out here. You should bring
No,
it.
there's no beavers out here. I've been looking.
Doss Sales Company?
Yes, sir.
Is it still in business?
Yes, sir. Sorta. I'm still selling, but
Are you?
I did sell my company. It's now Pioneer Sales and Promotions, Waco, Texas. I always remember the hand that gives gathers. So that's my motto on advertising, promotional items.
Remember that, David, because I won't.
He's got some Oriental woofle dust over there. He'll sprinkle on that side when I leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the wheels.
The wheels, they're stock.
No.
Yeah.
They had trim rings on them?
Well, yes, sir. No. The trim rings are okay, but I had wide whites on it, and I blew one out during COVID, and I could not get one ordered nowhere. So I bought some cheap black walls, and I hadn't gone
Switched back
with-
yet, yeah.
I hadn't switched back yet because
Are you going to switch back
it's
to
the
whites?
money situation. Yeah. I'll put some wide whites on it probably. I think they look pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because I like that look too.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, the wide whites meant you had money, and those were fixed up, dolled up cars.
Yeah.
Most of the cars sold looked like that.
And
Yeah, like
I'd like to
business
get a
class.
set of Kragers for it. I've thought about that, but I've just never
Go stock. I'd
never
stay
been
stock.
there. I sort of like that look there.
And you
I
can
do
get
too.
the wide whites from Coker Tire.
Right.
Yeah. So those are actually those are stock hubcaps.
Yes, sir.
Now, they didn't have an optional smaller hubcap back then.
That's it.
That's the one.
That's just a cap right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Dog
40.
dish.
The 49 was a little different than that.
It's got the little dog ears on the actual wheel that it pops
Right.
on. Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's very nice. And
And
I
the
see.
only difference between that car on a 49 and a 50, the 49 had a screw-on gas cap back in the back, and where that one's got a flip lid.
Under the taillight?
And
or
that
license
no
plate?
under right on the side of the car.
Oh,
And then the park lights on the 50, you see that little chrome around the park lights?
Uh-huh.
Well, the 49 is just a park light there. There's no chrome. And, of course, that's also a pretty famous car because of Robert Mitchum in Thunder Road.
Oh, yeah.
Did he wreck it in Thunder Road?
Oh, yeah, at the end.
Yeah.
Big wreck.
Big wreck, yeah. Well, now, the chrome around the turn signals,
Yes, sir.
was that stock with that car?
That's stock. Yes, sir.
With that car.
That grill, everything on that front end stock except the French lights
Yeah.
and the nose deck.
So, and you say that there was an option that you could get a headlight in there and the Dagmar.
I've seen them. Yes, sir.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, there's something to be said for those Dagmars. Of course, back then they didn't call them that
No.
because the woman that the Dagmar was named Dagmar, that it was named for, those came out on the Cadillac.
Yeah.
Right. There's 2 of them.
Right.
Yeah. And they were huge.
Some guys call them Dolly Partons now.
Oh.
Oh, well,
Updated.
younger guys. I can see
Updated.
where younger guys would do that. You're dating yourself by calling them Dagmars, Don.
Dagmars.
Dagmars.
And if you look that up, if you Google search that, there's a picture of the woman that
We just
they're named
we did a
after.
segment on it.
And she was actually very attractive back
Yes,
in
she
the
was.
50s. Yeah. Large bosomed woman.
Amen.
Big bumpers.
Yeah.
Well, they actually started putting rubber bumpers on the end of them to kind of tone it down because they were rather large when they first came out. So there's that. Well, listen, man, it's great to talk to you, and We love your car.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, gentlemen.
Thank you,
And
sir.
you know you'll be able to see this on.
There's 10,000 55, 56, and 57 Chevrolets around, but there ain't. If you look around today, there's not many Shoebox Fords.
There's one 57 in here we talked to earlier.
Right.
So
He's back over there.
he was Ford on Ford.
Right.
So that was great.
Yeah.
We love. Listen, I appreciate all the hard work that goes in to shoehorning a Chevy into a Ford.
Just
there you go.
Not right.
There you go. You after my own soul.
I've got to have a Ford. I want a Ford motor in it.
Amen.
Now, the underside that you don't see, I don't care. But when I open the hood, I want to see a Ford motor in there.
Ford Blue.
All righty.
There you go.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
I appreciate talking
Thank
to
you,
you,
sir.
fellas. Thank you a lot.
All right, time now for a quick break here on the In-Wheel Time
Hold
Car
on.
Talk Show. We are broadcasting today from Hewlett Park in Granbury, Texas, the Lone Star Street Rod Association State Run. And we sure appreciate you taking the time to join us, whether you're joining us on our live stream, a podcast, or any other method, including an old ear horn. Doesn't make any difference.
What?
We appreciate you being here.
Tune in radio.
We'll be right back. You just stay with us.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. Want to feel good about something special you did for someone special? In-Wheel Time and the original Lupi Tortilla group of Tex-Mex restaurants have joined together to help a very worthy cause, God's Garage, a Christian-based 501c3 charity. We know there are lots of places and organizations out there where you can donate a car, truck, or SUV, but we're asking you, our car enthusiast family, to consider donating to God's Garage. Visit godsgarage.org and learn about its mission, the women that have been helped, how each one is screened, and about their Restore You program. A car donation is an easy way to make a difference in the lives of others. God's Garage needs good operating vehicles, but will take all types in working and non-working condition. Make your heart and soul feel good by donating your gently used vehicle and help support single mothers, widows, and wives of deployed military at godsgarage.org.
Thanks for joining us today here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show, and we are coming to you again from the Lone Star Street Rod Association, what they call the State Run. It's a once-a-year gathering up here in Granbury, Texas, which is a cute little town. You'd really like it, and it's a great park here, Hewlett Park, and we kind of turned our set around this year, so instead of looking at the naked parking lot back there that we had in the past, now you can see a good array of cars, and that's just what you see up front, because they go on layer upon layer upon layer back to the road back behind us back there, and also back over here to the our left, to your right, a lot of cars over there. So at any rate, having a great time. I'm going to wrap up today's show here in just a few minutes. Let's do the Today in Auto History, because we got a lot of history here in the park.
We do. And June the 2nd, 1992, the National Corvette Museum breaks ground. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we talked about the Corvette Convoy coming up Labor Day weekend to celebrate, happens every 5 years, to celebrate the anniversary of that museum. And an interesting thing I found was that when they broke ground, Arcus Duntov was driving a bulldozer to help do some of that as part of the groundbreaking.
I met
ceremony.
Zora, and actually have a picture in the studio of him with Bill and Sharon Seitz, myself, and some of the other car club members, and he appeared at a Corvette Expo. This is long before, clearly, that he passed away, but he was considered the father of the Corvette. Cool.
Yes. A lot of people confuse that being that he's the guy that designed it. He's not the designer, but he is the father. He's the one that made it popular and made it what it is today. And a couple of things that they have on display. They have a 1953 model Corvette, first year production. They only built 300 of them. They also have a 63 Corvette Stingray split window coupe that's in there. And the really unusual one, I thought, is 1969 Corvette ZL1, only 2 produced. The car had an all-aluminum 427 cubic inch V8 engine. It was the most powerful Corvette ever built up to that point. And then it goes on to have some other ZR1s and some 2009, some later model ones. But the museum opened to the public on September the 2nd, 1994, which is the reason they're having their anniversary this September with a Corvette convoy. If you're interested in getting involved in some of that, go to Corvette Convoy or go to the National Corvette Museum for more. June the 3rd, 1972, Hot Rod Lincoln reaches November 9th on the Billboard. This is a song written by Charlie Ryan, who had a real Hot Rod Lincoln that he wrote this song about. Commander Cody and the Lost Planet Airman recorded it in 1972. Commander Cody now lives in upstate New York.
Wow.
June the 4th, 1996, Henry Ford was working as the chief engineer at the main plant of the Edison Illuminating Company. He was on a 24-hour call-out type thing, so he had a little bit of time to experiment with his other pet project, which was building a horseless carriage with a gasoline-powered engine. Built it in his shed in his spare time on Bagley Avenue. He unveiled the quadricycle on this date, and it was the first automobile he ever designed or drove.
Wow.
Then, in June the 5th, 1924, this was the day that the 10 millionth Ford, a Model T, rolled off the assembly line at Ford's Highland Park plant in Michigan. And to celebrate that and to kind of help promote things, they took that car and used the Lincoln Highway, which was a highway that stretched out kind of like Route 66. And they had Frank Kulik was a racing driver, and he went that highway length, and he stopped at every town along the line to showcase the vehicle. Had some special badges on it about being the 10 millionth car, and it went on to sell 16 million in total before it was discontinued in 1927. And finally, June the 6th, 1933.
Remember it well.
Remember it well. You were probably there when the first drive-in movie theater opened in Camden, New Jersey. And it was created, it wasn't called a drive-in, it was a park-in theater that was created. That's what they called it, with a patented. And eventually there was up to 4,000 theaters at the max. And last known count was only 300 survive in the country today.
I like what you did with the picture, too, because you used the stars and stripes.
Yeehaw. And that's this week in auto history.
Well, that is just tremendous.
Just tremendous. Tremendioso.
Thank you so much for taking us down that trip
Memory lane.
on memory lane,
There you
Mr.
go.
Mars.
Well, I really like the Hot Rod Lincoln because I remember that song.
Yeah, I was singing it in my head.
Can you sing it now?
No, just in my head.
I want to continue the Hemmings Sold Cars Roundup because I thought it was pretty interesting.
Okay.
C3 Corvette, which is a 1982 Chevrolet Corvette. And it's sold. Very nice looking. It is a coupe, and it's not a convertible or what we used to call a roadster. And it's got some custom wire wheels that I'm not a big fan of, but you can take those off. But it looks completely stock. It had absolutely no horsepower, but 1982 Chevrolet Corvette. What do you think that sold for on Hemmings?
$9,000.
No, I was going to go 14.
David, did you want to join in? Do you
Sure.
care?
I was going to say 10.
13,650.
Well, we're kind of in the ballpark there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Not really expensive or
No.
overpriced.
And it may have 100,000 miles on it. I don't know. Don't really care. Here's one that was kind of surprising: a 1973 Corvette. It looks stock. I don't know, but I got a feeling that there's something special about it because a 73 Chevrolet Corvette just is not all that special in my book, and I'm a Corvette guy.
Mm-hmm.
This car sold for $26,250.
Wow, I was thinking 17.
Must have been a big block.
Could have been.
Here's one for David. A 1995 Ford Mustang. Now, what do you think a convertible version of that would sell for?
95.
95 Ford Mustang. Not.
If I was buying it, probably 8,000.
You would buy this
Seven.
car.
7 to 8.
Yeah.
7 to 8,000.
Yeah, I'm in there.
Yeah. No. 16,800. So
Wow.
obviously,
There's something else there.
Yeah.
well, I mean, it's probably a nice, clean car.
Painted or
But
something.
yeah. Well, it's all
It's got
fixed
100
up.
miles on it.
It's all gussied up. In that very vein, let me come up with that. Now that was 16.8. Here's a 1989 Ford Mustang, which I personally kind of like those.
A little
look
boxy?
a little boxy. I like the look of those cars. 89 Ford Mustang convertible. What do you think that one sold for? If the other one sold for 16.8,
Yeah, 11.
any idea?
I can't tell if you're going higher or lower. I'm going to say
Well, it's higher than 11.
19.
16,275. Whereas the 95 Ford Mustang sold for 16.8. That's why I kind of put them in
Okay.
there. Here's one for Mars. No Dagmars on it that I can see, but it does have some fender skirts on it. A 1958 Chevrolet Impala. You got a vision of that?
Yes, sir.
This is a coupe.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Lots of chrome. Lots of
Big
chrome.
car.
Huge. 1958 Chevy Impala.
Double headlights.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know the condition of it, but I think that it's a fairly new restoration.
17,000.
Well, let me finish.
All right.
25.
It also has the tire outside the
Yeah.
Continental kit.
Yeah.
Had the Continental kit on the outside.
Top of the line.
It's bronze with a white top. Now, what do you think that would sell for?
All right. I'm changing.
25.
I'll go 23.
I'll go 35.
How about 47,250?
Oh.
Yeah, it's a nice
it
ar.
was the two-tone paint. that
I
pushed it way
kept
up
telling you it was a nice car, but you wouldn't take the bite.
No, we haven't been listening all day.
Here's another combo, a Ford Mustang combo that I want you guys to take a hit at. 1965 Ford Mustang Coupe. And it's got the V8 insignia up on the left front fender. Okay, it is a 65 Ford Mustang Coupe, and looks clean. It looks like it's got the original wheel covers on it. Okay, so I don't know what all's been done to it, anything like that, but what would your guess on a 65 Ford Mustang be?
24.
14.
37.
13,650.
Wow.
I was closest.
that's
All
cheap.
right. I'll take
Goes to show that you can still pick up a real classic.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen any of that cheap.
How
in a
about
long time.
1967 Ford Mustang? Same body style, modified a bit. 67 Ford Mustang, how much do you think that would run for?
It's a coupe. It's not
It's
fastback.
a coupe. Nope. Coupe. It's a fast.
I would drop 18.
17.
18, 17. David?
15.
I think good for you. 15,750.
Wow.
Nice.
So
I've
the
been
next
looking in the
time
wrong
you're in
places.
the market for a minivan, a
Go see
Honda
David.
Odyssey minivan.
Go see David.
There you go. Do that.
15,000.
David, you guy.
And here's
15, there you go.
the one that I'm going to leave it with, the 52 Studebaker Starlight that sold for $1,700.
On Hemmings?
On Hemmings,
Hemmings,
yeah.
yeah.
It's rough. More of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We're going to wrap things up right after this quick break.
Everyone at the Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex in Katy, thank you for participating in the best cruise in around and look forward to seeing you again. You'll hear about the next cruise in date right here on In Wheel Time. Next time you're in the West Houston Energy Corridor area, be sure and stop in at the original Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex at I-10 and Highway 6 or the Katy location on the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard. When passing through Beaumont or College Station, stop in and have Lupi's award-winning beef fajitas and frozen margaritas. There's always a celebration at Lupi Tortilla. Lupi Tortilla founder Stan Holt and his wife Sheila are winning racers on the NHRA drag racing circuit and have a collection of hot rods and classics that everyone appreciates. Look for them at the next Tailpipes and Tacos Cruise In. The date will be announced soon and will once again be held at the Lupi Tortilla Tex-Mex on 99 and Kingsland Boulevard, just south of I-10 and Katy. We'll give you all the details right here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show and online. Donations benefit God's Garage. We'll see you then. You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com.
Well, I guess that whatever it was that Mr. Mars put into the computer here, it didn't work. So
It did work.
leave it to Mars to bring it on about 5 minutes late.
That's the fade in that we did.
Well, we just wanted to remind you that we appreciate and love our chief engineer, David Ainsley, for all he's done for us today, because I don't know how we got it on the air, but we did somehow, some way. We'd also like to thank all the people here in Granbury, especially Tammy Dooley and the fine folks here at Hewlett Park for hosting the Lone Star Street Rod Association's 49th annual state run. It goes on the rest of today, and then the rest of the event happens again tomorrow. Right here. So if you're up here in the North Texas area looking for a Sunday drive, this is a great place to do it. Lots of attendees here. The park is packed, great cars, and great hospitality. We always have a good time coming up here, and we encourage you to check out the Lone Star Street Rod Association. Well, that's it for the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show for this week. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com for our live feeds every Saturday from 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time.
Subscribe.
To what?
Subscribe to In-Wheel Time.
Subscribe. Yes, do that. Yeah. Follow us on all of the things that you know how to follow us on. We'll see you next week. Have a good week.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In-Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.